Hello and welcome back to the woods and welcome back to the channel. I'm back here at the Bushcraft shelter. I've got a project I want to finish off. I did actually make a bench last year and I split a log in a kind of semi-traditional way that you would split logs with wedges, and I used one of the pieces to make a bench. Slightly haphazardly, and I've got several legs that are wonky, but I do have that other piece and I want to make that into a bench so I've got more capacity to seat people when I bring people into this bushcraft shelter. As you can see, it's quite a strange, eerie day in the woods. There's well, it's almost freezing fog. Several parts of it as I was cycling in, which you would have seen on the intro, you could tell the difference in temperature between it. You would cycle down into a dip and you would instantly feel your skin tighten up really quite firm, and it really could feel it contract. And I'm sure some of that was like on the verge of freezing, although the car did say it was 2 degrees when I did the school run, but I'm sure in the shaded areas it's freezing. In here, yes, it is extremely cold, dead still, dead quiet. There is the odd shotgun going off miles away in the distance and a few jets, but it's beautifully still and quiet. So I'm going to get over here, get my tools out and start getting that bit of wood over. I did bring some legs in with me, some hiking sticks that I've got offcuts, just to speed it up, and it saves me cutting anything here. So I'm going to see if I can make a bench without the legs being too wonky this time. We've got a jet just going over now. Right, as you can see, it is absolutely firm. You know, it's solid. You know, these are real solid in. There's nothing loose about it. It's just, as you can see, I've got the legs at kind of haphazard angles, so you've got to kind of, when you place the bench down, you've got to move it around till you get the best seating position, like that. And then if you sat on that, it would be level, but you've got to move the bench around to fit the legs, or the length and the angles of the legs. So I haven't had to go and make or find any of the materials, it's all here. So it should be a relatively quick project, but I have actually forgot my folding saw, so I'm going to have to use the axe to trim the legs to size, which could add a little bit of difficulty. But you would have seen me in the video where I made the other one. I was using this auger here, so it's pretty much going to be following that same pattern, but I just want to make this bench. It's not a how-to or anything like that. I'm just going to get this bench done, so I've got basically another one for around camp. So I'm going to crack on with it, but I've got to find a stick that I can whittle down to fit in here to provide the handle. Without a handle, it's about as much use as a chocolate teapot, because you've got no leverage to turn it and it becomes extremely hard. So you do need to find something to create a T-bar. Well, there we go. We've got another bench, and even though the legs aren't 100% perfect, it sits a lot more flatter on the ground. But I've just had to use the axe to chop these end bit of pegs off. They need cleaning up. But yeah, we have another bench. So the addition of the benches to sit outside does actually give it a bit more of a camp feel. It did when I made the first one, but as you can see, with a bit of camp furniture, now I've got another one, it just adds that little bit more to it. I suppose the next thing to do is to make some sort of table. Well, I was quite pleased with that. That turned out pretty well for a quick half-hour project. It's all done. I'm going to pick up and pack up all my tools, get them stowed away so they don't get lost. And I'm going to get a brew on and have a, well, I don't know, a cup of coffee or hot chocolate. I'll have a look in my brew bag and find out what I've got left from when I did the West Highland Way, see what I've got left. But yeah, it's really chilly in here. As soon as you stop doing anything, it really creeps into your bones. So yeah, a brew is in order now. I've had a dig around inside my bag of teas, coffees and chocolates, and I found this, and yeah, it's a Cadbury's Instant Hot Chocolate. That's going to hit the mark, I think. I don't feel like a coffee, actually. I want something that's going to give you that kind of feel-good factor and sort of like perhaps sugary hit, and just an oat bar to give me some energy for when I'm cycling back home. And if you're wondering how far this is from home, it's possibly 2 miles. It's not that far. So, yeah, it is local. I can actually cycle or walk here. I do have closer locations that I use to wild camp and do bushcraft in. But incidentally, one of those locations just went up for auction over or just after Christmas while I was away. So I'm not sure what that holds for me in regards to me, you know, doing a little wild camping on that piece of land. So stay tuned. We'll have to work out and possibly things might have to change for that location. As regards to wild camping, I knew it was kind of on the cards and coming. It'd been on the cards last year, but yeah, it's finally happened. Such is life, and yeah, everything is changed here in the UK at the moment in all respects. But we'll forget about that because we're in a nice woodland, and I'm going to have a nice hot chocolate and just soak in this atmosphere. It's been possibly, you know, nearly 2 months, I would say, since I've been in here, due to life commitments going away, Christmas and things like that. So it's good to see the bushcraft shelter still here. It is hunting season, but there's no sign saying shooting, and if they are shooting deers, just by my recce's, it's not going to be here. It's going to be way off, possibly another mile down through the valley. So yeah, it has remained undiscovered. It's been really good here to come and do that, not only just to check on it and make sure it's still here, but remember the woodland. It's surprising that I've forgotten a lot of aspects of this woodland. Namely, the principal one, it's just so quiet. It's dead still. There's hardly any noise. And I've touched on that, you know, in other videos, which is kind of like, you know, you really enjoy the peace and quiet, but it can be a little bit unsettling because there is literally no noise, birds or anything. I can hear things off way off in the distance, miles down through the valley, like farming activity, but nothing at this location. But it does give you a chance to, you know, sit here and think while you have your coffee, which is, and I quite often say this, in this modern world, you get very little time where you don't have like noise pollution hitting you from one angle or another. Even when you sit down and you think you're having a quiet moment, if you actually analyze what's happening around you, it isn't actually quiet. You're still being bombarded by some form of noise. So, you know, I shouldn't really like question this woodland being so quiet. The other thing is, at the moment, I'm getting pretty much flat out in the workshop. I'm basically steam straightening sticks to get my stock up so I can really start hitting the production again. But I need stock to work, so I'm straightening at the moment. And you would see that on some of my other videos, how I do it. And basically, that's what I'm doing. And on top of that, I'm inundated with stuff that I've got to do at home and for people in the home. So I've got all that to contend with. And then my eye, I was due to have an operation on my eye before Christmas. The two consultants that were looking at it kind of said that it wasn't in, you know, after they've done all the checks, it wasn't in the remit of what their expertise. So I've been put back till March, I think, to see some, you know, all singing, all dancing consultant that can do everything from what I understand, and he's going to have a little look and yeah, I suppose get booked in for an operation. Since the accident, I've been left with about 35% vision, which I'm grateful that I have something in it, but you know, if there's a chance of correcting it and getting it back to more like a normal vision in that eye, I'm going to take it. And it's quite sad really, because it's my aiming eye for archery. So I've been a bit scared to pick up a bow and shoot it, because I don't know how bad, because I'm going to be relying on this eye. This is my aiming eye, which is when I bring back here. So my aiming point, my anchor point will still be the same, but my aiming point is going to be miles off, and it could take a long time to try and dial that in again, if I can ever get it to where you know, I want it to be. And archery is one of my guilty pleasures. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely so much fun. I can do it in my back garden of a summer's evening when the kids are going to bed. I can come here and just put a few targets up and fling a few arrows down range. So there is a little tinge of sadness that I may never get my archery back to where it was, but if that is the case, I will, you know, stick with it and try and get my aiming point sorted with this eye. Anyway, that's enough waffle. I'm going to drink this up, pack up, and get out of here. I only ever seem to manage to scrabble or, you know, cob together just a few hours to myself, and then, like I said, I've got to get back into the game with other things I've got to do. But this hot chocolate is really hitting them. Actually, I'm finding it more pleasant holding a warm cup. It's so cold, your hand. In fact, I would say this coldness in this woodland matches some of what I experienced in the Highlands. All that's left to be said is take care, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail.